Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I rarely do streams this early in the morning, but I actually have a Magic the Gathering tournament to go to in about 45 minutes to an hour. So I wanted to get this done before I had to go out for the day. Now, today we're talking about Defimons. And if you've been following me on Twitter, which if you haven't, here's your opportunity at the Brown Gent YT. I have been posting a bit about Defimons. It's one of those games that I've really heard a lot about. Thank you to Katrino and Frenchymon, who have been very helpful. I've heard about it sort of through passing, and I got a chance to explore the game yesterday. As you can see on here, and then I, in fact, purchased my own home within the ecosystem. So today I figured might as well share what I've learned with all of you, and potentially maybe I'll learn something from you, either if you're watching this live or if you make a comment after the fact. Now, Defimons reminds me a lot about one of my childhood favorite games, Pokemon. I remember being in grade 8 and just sort of moving to Toronto, and one of my friends was showing me their Game Boy, which had Pokemon on it, which is a very interesting concept because I grew up collecting stamps, collecting coins. Collecting monsters was a really cool concept, and I loved it. And I love sort of like that you get like, you can almost imagine yourself as a kid when you're playing Pokemon being so involved, trying to collect all 150. That was originally, of course. I don't know how many Pokemon they're at now, but you start off as a kid in this town called Pallet Town. You go on an adventure to sort of become the best, win badges, collect all the Pokemon that you can, beat the Elite Four. And it was a really fun sort of experience. I loved the game. I loved the card game. One of the things I've always thought about is maybe just doing a gaming channel potentially, and, doing a recap of, games from my childhood, like sort of retro games like Pokemon, Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog. But the reason I bring up Pokemon today is Defimons really gives me that vibe, right? Gives me that vibe of Pokemon. And when I brought that up on Twitter, people said, hey, it is Pokemon-esque, but it's also like Stardew Valley. It's a lot more on sort of the blockchain. So if you are interested in anything that I say, don't forget that, as always, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Nothing that I'm saying in this video is financial advice. So if you end up wanting to get involved, do your own research and your own due diligence, okay? So all the links to everything I show will be in the description below today. And when you go to the Defimons website, you actually find out a couple of things. Number one, they have a Twitter and a Discord. You can actually interface through either the iOS or Android, so on your mobile device, or you can play on your browser, which is fantastic. And what's really cool is, unlike some of the other games out there, they're sort of building an immersive experience. There's a few games that have done that. I think it's really cool here. I know Dragon's Crossing is another game that's built out that immersive experience. But here, we're eventually going to have these turn-based battles. Like, it reminds me so much of Pokemon, right? Explore the world of Defimons, encounter wild monsters, hunters, and teams along the way. Learn effective battle strategies by utilizing items, health packs, and more to increase your chances of winning. Train your monsters and guide them through various mutation trees, so like the evolutions, based on your decisions, making each monster a truly unique creation. And it's an ever-expanding world, right? So like if you think about like Pallet Town, right? You were a little like sprite. I don't know if I can see it here, but you were a sort of sprite on the screen, and you just walk around the map and sort of interacted. Very similar here, and I'll sort of show you some of the gameplay. So for those of you who are interested, it'll be, as I mentioned, browser, iOS, and Android, and you can use like your like keyboard if you're using your computer to go up, down, left, right, etc. It's a free-to-play game. So what's really cool about it is you don't have to sort of do any, you don't have to put any money into the game to play. However, you'll start with a common monster that it would be somewhat weaker than the starter monsters that we'll show later. The game is obviously involving blockchain and the NFTs. I think is really cool because, like, think about how many of you completed Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue, right? Imagine being able to have that as an NFT that you can trade, or when you collect those monsters, being able to have those as a badge of honor. In this case, sort of you can convert your in-game items to NFTs at any point. And then like basically the gameplay is the same regardless of whether or not you're on the blockchain. Basically, it just allows for a better experience with trading and economy design, right? So you can sort of buy, sell, and trade either the monsters or the items that you get at any moment. And right now it's on the Ethereum chain, and they have plans to migrate over to the Avalanche chain, which is one of my favorites. It's where DeFi Kingdoms has their own subnet, and they're going to have a subnet called Mon, right, for DeFi Mon. What's really cool is they're going to have their own Mon in-game currency for gas fees, and that's sort of how, a couple things. Number one, you have use case for the gas token, so that is not just not just gas token, but use case for their power token. So like as the power token is created, it doesn't just get devalued by, long term. It's being sucked up with sort of demand from people playing the game, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. I won't really go through the docs as much. Maybe we'll handle it later. Maybe we'll sort of start off by giving you some experience. So the actual town is called Yorokobi. It's hard to remember, but they do have a good collection of music. Got to turn that off. I don't know if it was as loud for you as it was loud for me, but I've sort of put the volume down in the actual game a little bit, and you can actually sort of like see. I'm just gonna go here. So this is your character, and like when you first start in Defimons, what's really cool is it gives you a tutorial. So like you don't have to sort of worry. Let me just put the volume completely to zero. Just otherwise, it might be harder to hear me. But their music is addictive, so don't keep it off for too long, right? What's nice is when you first start this game, you get sort of like a walkthrough. Like you jump in, you sort of sign up. You can you don't have to, like, I don't recall signing anything with my wallet. I created it through like my Apple account. You can log in with a bunch of different social media platforms, which is cool. And then like it shows you how to like interact and work with the map. So if you press E, you can talk to characters. If you hold R down and click on the skateboard, you get this fancy skateboard which lets you go a little faster. So let's go check out some part of the town. So let's go down here. You know what? Before we check the town out, let's go exploring, because I've already done some exploration. You can leave town, and this reminds me a lot of like when you first left like Viridian City or even Pallet Town, sort of going right. You just, here's the grass, and I assume eventually, right now they're still in sort of development phase, which is really cool. But like, it's a very interactive world, right? I imagine you'll be able to sort of have monster interactions or encounters through here. Using your skateboard, you can traverse the entire thing here. And let's just go to the end here. You can see, this world still has to be built out, but it's still pretty cool that you can sort of do all this stuff. Then you go up here. It's a cave, very much like, I forget that cave in the official Pokemon game, but Pewter Cave or something like that. Right now it's only one sort of way, and I'm showing you this as someone who's already gone through here, just to show you like a bit of the gameplay, right? And like what we can sort of look forward to, like this sort of being ever expanded. This is sort of like a empty chasm. I don't think there's any sort of way to exit here, but pretty cool, right? Like the fact that you're able to toggle and play a sprite character that's able to move around. The idea here is just like in Pokemon, you're able to find monsters, level them up. You use your existing monsters to weaken others, and then you have like items and such, which can, just like you had like super potions and whatever in the original game for Pokemon, you have items that allow you to, and by the way, you can see other players too, which is cool. You see like you have other items that you can use that will let you heal your Pokemon. So or not Pokemon, your Defimon, sorry. It'll take me some time to get used to saying it properly. I'll get there though. Have patience with me, please. So let's say we walk in here. This is equivalent to a Pokemon, or in this case, a Defimons. You hit E to interact, and they say the grocer, which is what this is, right? The grocery store. Some crops can only be grown in certain seasons, so it's important that you keep an extra batch of produce of each crop in case you might need them in an off season, right? And I talked to this person here. Cakes are items that help you boost stats of your Defimon in the battle, but the effects are temporary, right? So there's that. Let's go back on our skateboard, R, and do this. Let's go up. Let's go to the hospital. So, I think it was called a Poke Center in Pokemon. Once again, very Pokemon-esque, which is fantastic. I love the graphics here, the very retro feel, and I love sort of like they're taking a different spin on that old classic. So you hit, and by the way, you can sort of walk around this stuff here, right? So you can go check things out. Can we interact with this here? You know what, we can. What I will show you here is this is a mini game that I'm trying to win at, and you know what? Let me just go exit and turn off the sound effects. So there's actually a bunch of quests you can do, and one of the challenges is actually to beat this guy's high score of 8,000 on this mini game. But before I do that, let me just press E to talk to this person. Hello and welcome to the hospital. Unfortunately, you're too early as we're currently closed. Please come back earlier. Come back later. Right? We can go talk up here, talk to this person. If only I hadn't lost my Monpedia, I'll have to order another one again. It's probably a way here that you can, you see it. A device that you can use to store information about the Defimons you capture, right? So let's go back down here. And once again, so very rarely will you find a Web3 game that has that sort of immersive experience. So anyways, back here, I click start, but you press down to roll or hold to roll, you press up to jump, you can double jump. And I'm trying to get to 2,000 points. Or not 2,000, sorry. I'm trying to get to, damn it. See, I'm so bad at this game. I'm trying to get to 8,000 points. I'm going to do 2 more tries, and if I fail, I'm going to move on. But basically, it'll get me a new character skin, which is cool. I'm not really sure what the gems do, but it's harder than it looks. Yeah. Okay, one more try, and then then I'll just do it on my own. But it's really cool because it sort of shows you sort of the potential that's here, kind of like what you can potentially look forward to. Because remember, they're building in the bear market, right? And this is something, if you watch my channel a lot, I talk about all the time, right? You want to sort of invest in projects that are here in the bear market and that are here sort of, seemingly for the long term, versus projects that just pop up out of nowhere and sort of want to take advantage of all the extra liquidity in a bull market, right? That's just sort of how I feel anyways. The only problem I have with this game is, whoa, it's tight. Damn. All right. That was close. My highest score is not even 4,000. But so let's leave here. The idea behind this hospital is, hold on. 7T1 Mookie. Hey, good morning. How's it going? Thanks for joining me on this. I wonder what you think about Defimon. So the idea behind this is, obviously heal your Defimons, right? So one of the things, or there's a couple of things that you can do in the game. So there's a bank, not available yet, but we'll go talk to these people, right? So let's go here. The fresh air of Eurokabi. Remind me of my home hidden village. Welcome to Monbank, the most secure place in all of Eurokobi town. Unfortunately, you're early. The bank services are not available yet. I imagine that'll be like the trader to get Mon token. The currency we use to trade different items is called Mon. It is used to buy, sell, and trade all sorts of items and even Defimons around the town. However, some people might even accept items such as gold nuggets as means of payment. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go back here. And maybe I'll show you over here. This is like the apartment complex or the home district. So before we go here and talk to reception, one of the things that perhaps I'll do is let's go check out OpenSea. So I've opened up a couple tabs ahead of time. So there are characters that you can buy. These are character skins you can apply. You can see the number on the top left. So like 2,795. Sorry, it just keeps disappearing when I mouse over. This is so if you want to change how your character looks. If you look back at Defimons, you got your character over here on the top left. If you want to change that, you can sort of grab one of these NFTs, and then you click over here, and you can change this. I think it's actually under profile settings, preferences. Where is it? About? No. Sorry, I'm still a little new. Skins, here you go. You can go to skins. So under skins, you're able to find all the NFTs in your wallet. So right now you get the two basic, you get the guy and the girl, like the guy-girl version of the same look, aesthetic. If you want, you can sort of get more through this. So that's one thing you can do. And right now, just looking at it, like it's not very expensive, 0.02 ETH. If one ETH is like $2,000, 220, it's like $4. It's like $4 for this, I think. Maybe like $4 to $6 for one of these like cheaper skins, and then obviously a little more. This guy looks like Krillin over here, which is kind of funny. Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. But looking forward to seeing them add more skins. So that's one thing. They just released and they just minted out their starter Pokemon. So, if I refresh here, you can sort of see the starter Pokemon that you can get. These are going to be more powerful than the Pokemon that sort of exist, that you would, or sorry, not Pokemon, Defimon. These Defimon are more powerful than sort of the Defimons that you can potentially start with if you choose not to pay to play or pay to get a bit of an advantage. These are also very rare because you'll never be able to get them again, right? These are sort of, I believe from what I've been told, these starters will never be minted again. So if you're looking for specific traits, apparently where to go is ability. And here are the most common abilities: Venom, Frosty, Livewire, Amplifier, Liquidator. Vayne, you have less of Veno Glutton, right, which is the floor of 0.2 ETH. Aqua Bacil, which is 0.12 ETH, and Electrocharge, which is 0.199 ETH, right? And you know what? While I'm on here, maybe I'll just grab this one. Yeah, you know what? I'll just grab this. Just let's do it live. So like I need to get a starter anyways. And if I'm getting one, I want it to be like one that is, what's it called? Like one that is having a better ability, and like it's a way better deal than sort of all the other stuff on the floor, right? So like this is sort of my initial starter pack, right? So here's my here's my Defimon. So you just saw I did it live. So I got that one, which is nice. And then, and by the way, if we go to activity, we'll see here, yeah. So like, let me just click off all, clear all, and then go to activity. Yeah. So like, people have been accepting very low ball offers for sort of, oh no, they haven't. Sorry, that's expired. I wonder if I can see actual activity. Showing a lot of stuff over here. I don't know. Anyways, we'll look at that later. So now I have my own Defimon. Okay. Now, the other thing that sort of is important in this game is to have a home. So there are 4 different types of homes. They each come with a different sort of benefit. So I actually made a sort of descriptive graphic for it. So the way you want to look at this is if you consider the Defimon's housing complex or the housing market, Their value is really like, yeah, you can decorate your sort of housing, but you really care more about the healing slots, because when your Defimon gets hurt and you need to heal, you want to have those healing slots to sort of help out and sort of get that Defimon to better health as soon as possible. So one of the things you can do is, if you don't have any Defimons of your own, you can actually rent your space out to others. Now, none of this is available yet. This is sort of what the plan is, right? And the team is continuing to develop and build. Like I said, they just had their Defimons mint, they just had their mint like a few days ago. And to mint, you either had to win a hunting season, or you got whitelisted spots for the number of apartments you held, I believe. So there's the small apartment, which has 3 healing slots. There's the medium apartment with 6, large with 12, and penthouse with 24. If you're paying attention here quickly, what you notice is there's a factor of 2 difference between each of them. So between small and medium is 2. So you get two times, right? So you expect that a medium apartment should be worth twice as much as a small, a large should be worth twice as much as a medium, and a penthouse should be worth twice as much as a large, right? If we just look at that benefit. So then I bought a large apartment yesterday. This is the one that I bought. Large apartment, 700. I love how like on OpenSea, they always lowball you. They're trying to get you to pay per hand. I got enough ETH right now on this wallet, 1.3. I don't need your pity offers. Let's just say that. But so I grabbed this, which is a large apartment, and I'm going to explain why I chose that one and sort of compare it to everything else. So the first thing is, we went over this, and sort of I just showed you this as well, right? So I purchased a large apartment, 700. Now, and this is going to be harder to look at. I'm going to sort of read this out. So when I bought my large apartment, I took a look at the floor. And the way you do that is, once again, you go to type and you click on small, and it shows you all the prices for small. So it's still 0.0479. For medium at the time, so it's 0.069. At the time, it was 0.07. Close enough, right? For large, it was 0.129. It doesn't say 0.129 here, it says 0.13 because I bought the 0.129. And finally, the penthouse is 0.35, right? So the penthouse is obviously like the elite version, the best one. And I guess one was bought maybe, because the lowest is 0.365. Let's check it out here. Yeah, someone bought a penthouse for 0.35 each 6 hours ago. Okay. There was one for 0.32 at some point. Oh, that was 2 days ago. Yeah. So the only one that I would have seen is this one. Okay. So then what I did was I said, okay, let's look at the floor cost and divide it by the number of slots that it has to figure out how many slots you get per ETH. And so you get the floor cost here that I sort of put in here, right? That's what I had. And the cost per slot made it very clear that the large apartment was the best deal possible. So I picked the large apartment because, I'm looking for the value deal, right? To go to Costco, you can get like 10 things for like the price of 6 sometimes, right? Or the price of 7. Exactly what I'm doing here. In fact, the penthouse is way overpriced. In order, the large apartment was the best deal, then medium, then penthouse, then small. The small apartments, they just cost way too much on the floor. They need to be much lower. They need to be 0.035, or the prices of the medium and the large have to go up. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Okay. So I've sort of explained like why I chose what I did. Now let me go talk to my concierge over here and press E. I type in 700, which is my apartment ID, and I can enter it, right? So this is a big apartment. There's nothing in here right now, just empty space. But let's say I wanted to go back. So I always get confused. I think I had to go up here. Exit to the store. So now, let's say I do this and I talk to them. Instead of view mode, I can click edit mode, or sorry, free build. And now I can click on menu and I can add stuff. I can sort of view rooms, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go to furniture, and I can add sort of all this furniture in here. So I can put a poker table, because we love playing poker, so you can design it sort of how you want to do, right? I'm not really gonna waste your guys' time sort of watching all this. So I'm just gonna go back to menu. I'm gonna go to apartments, get out of here. So pretty cool. I'm gonna go back on my motorcycle, or not my motorcycle, my skateboard, and check out a bit of town. And what's really cool here as well, right, is you can see in the top left, like the time, right? So it gets lighter and darker based on the time. Let's go to pet store. Let's check this out. Let's go top. Press E. All Defimons can be differentiated on the base of their breed, but also their types. Each Defimon has 2 types, primary and secondary. Primary type is land, water, air. Secondary type is fire, ice, apocalyptic, electric, poison, heavy, and normal. Knowing which type your Defimon has and the enemy Defimon has can highly improve your chances in the battlefield. Oh, I've already not sure about this. Can't go in here, can I? Nope. All right. Now, let's go back on the skateboard. We check it out, see what else is around here. Garbage dump. Let's go to the property holding company. Owning a property in Yorokobi is highly beneficial for seasoned hunters. Apartments can be used to put your Defimons to rest, thus helping you reduce your dependence on health packs. And that's the other thing, right? So the way this game is going to operate, it's in order to sort of balance the value of NFTs in this game, like so they Defimons, you need to sort of use and sort of pay to heal your monsters and such like that. So what happens is that it sort of rewards people who are better at capturing better Defimons because their cost to do it is much less than other people, right? That's sort of the strategy, at least initially. But if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. This is sort of what I got from reading the game docs. Now, if you don't have a lot of Defimons, you can rent your apartments to others who do, which is what we were talking about earlier. Many Defimons can only be found at night. You have to make sure you go hunting around the right time. You can check the clock at the top left of your screen. Exactly. Can we go in here? It's interesting because like this is sort of like in Star's clothing. I think this is the skins place. It might be. We'll see. Oh wow, you really did it. I'm surprised to say the least, and to keep my word, here is your record. Oh, I think their sort of score was 2,000, not 8,000. But I read another question there. Having issues with getting some people to agree with you, a change of clothing can help you out. So let me go to skins. What? No. Achievements or quests here. Tony's helper. Uncle Tony needs help finding his house keys. Talk to him between 8 and 20 hours at Yorokobi Park. Okay. So there are quests that you can do, of course. It's something that I need to make sure I take care of. I'm going to go here, my achievements or whatever. Let's go over here. I'm just paying attention. Like I'll have to watch the video back to see what he said about the clothes. But yeah, I think it could be another 8 hours in the game for me to be able to find that person. But just sort of go back here. So okay. Go to the greater market. We haven't gone here. I think this is where you can talk to them. Oh no, we have been here. We were here earlier, right? It's this one we didn't go to. Town Street. So this is where you start actually. And the mysteries of technology. Did you know you can play mini games by interacting with arcade machines? Yeah. So this is the same game that we were playing earlier, just in this machine as well. And wonder if I can go up. No, this one's closed. Yeah. So that's the other thing, right? You know, when I played Pokemon before, like they used to have a ton of things that were blocked off. But as you unlock parts of the game, you know, like for example, you know, you want to go on the SSN or something. You had somebody blocking you and needed a ticket. So you got the ticket and all of a sudden this thing was gone, or you had like Snorlax in sort of the way, right? So what's beautiful about the way they designed this is they've using a lot of similar concepts and are they have such a huge world that they can build on. And this is just, you know, this is one city, but I kept hearing about Hidden's Village or whatever, and I'm sure there are other cities that we can go to outside of Yorokobi Town, which is where you start, right? So really cool. I think the concept is fantastic. I'm a big fan, and you guys saw me do it live. I purchased my first DeFi monster or DeFi mon, and I'm super pumped. So that's pretty much all that I want to talk about today. I'm just going to sort of go back to this here. You know, let me know what you think about this and DeFi Mons in the comments below. Sorry for the early morning live stream. Sure, like most of you who want to watch this couldn't because, you know, it's super late. But if you wouldn't mind, make sure that you follow me on Instagram, you follow me and subscribe on YouTube, you follow me on Twitter. And I just want to thank everyone for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video.